Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. So, what we're going to be diving into today is the new huge thing that's happening in nullsec called a nullsec block war. Now, essentially, what we're going to do is break down what's going on, what's been announced, where it was announced, the kind of war goals, and what you can expect to see throughout the entire game. Because these kind of wars do affect the entire game, not just the small areas of which it's the war is actually happening. Now, I say small areas; it's not not particularly small area. So, on Saturday evening, UK time, I think it was like 1900 Eve time or 1800 Eve time. I can't remember which one it was. There was something called the State of the Alliance, which, if you are new to Eve, State of the Alliance is where the Alliance leader goes onto comms or some form of broadcast network or whatever, which in this case it was streamed over on Imperium News Network Twitch channel. A link to that will be down below, so you can actually find that and watch the whole State of Goonian itself, which it was only about 5-10 minutes long, but the leader Asher Elias, he actually announced what's going to be happening. Now, he gave a little bit of back history on the whole reasoning for it. Now, I will dive into that very, very quickly, just because I don't want to dwell on it, as I've got loads of videos on that previous war, which will be in the Eve folder, the playlist. So we, as Goonswarm and Imperium, we used to live down here. And we did have, we had Old Legacy, we had Horde, we had Fraternity, and there was all sorts of groups all around. And essentially, I think it was about 5 years ago now, the whole of nullsec actually blewed up to come and attack us here. And at the time, the initiative was part of the Imperium. So we lived in this area, and all of this area of nullsec came out to fight us. And even some groups from lowsec jumped on the bandwagon. And we ended up losing all our space down to a last constellation where our capital was. Our capital staging system, our home system, and the surrounding 5 or 6 systems around it, which essentially the whole war did collapse because they realized that they couldn't actually push through into our capital without, one, crashing the server, and two, taking an unimaginable amount of losses in that engagement. So we lost Aquarius, we lost Period Basis, we lost Fountain down to the core regions there. Not all of Fountain was deleted, but they were basically coming after Delve down here. So fast forward a few years, we did what's called the Great Migration, where we have them picked up and moved over to Tenerife, Immensea, Catch, and Impasse. That's our home system. This is all Imperium members here. Stain is obviously neutral NPC nullsec space. And we moved closer to our enemies, which is Horde up here. Horde and Fraternity are up there. Horde are up here, and then there's some other smaller groups in here, as well as Legion of Exdeath and a couple other small groups there, and NPC nullsec there, which normally does harbour people that are after small gang PvP or people wanting to farm loyalty points. So on the Saturday night, Asher announced that as a consequence of them coming after us in the war, it's now time for us to go after them. Now, this is not what was what they called initially, or Villy called initially, a war of extermination, because that is quite an unrealistic goal to set, and you're setting yourself up to fail as soon as you say it, basically, because it's not going to happen. So essentially, what we've done is announce that Horde rent out nullsec. They rent out for passive income. They charge corporations anywhere between 2 to 10 to 15 billion ISK per system, depending on how good that space is for money making. Now, things affect that space is the true sec. So like if it's a 0.1 or a 0.9 or a minus 1.0 security system, and the further down to 1.0 you get, the more expensive it's going to be. Also, moons that are in that system, the good moons will be taken by Horde, so they can obviously still get the money from that, but they'll also charge for the system. So they can charge, like if you're a corporation in high sec that's got 30 members, you can pay up to 5 billion, 10, 15 billion ISK for a system for you and your members to come and live in nullsec. Now, you will have to pay them that money every month, otherwise they'll just come and remove you. It's that simple. Now, this renting has been going on for a very, very, very long time and is actually quite predominantly bad for the game. Yes, it gives small groups an insight into nullsec, but essentially they end up aligning with one of the big blocks, and then they are very susceptible to getting rolled by groups that don't like renters, like Goonswarm. We think renting is bad for the game. It should be left. If no one can take it, it should be left to be fought over. Simple as. It should be left to be fought over by smaller groups, and the strongest group takes the space. And nullsec should not just be allowed to. You should not be able to live in nullsec if you're a 20-man corp without any contest, because nullsec is predominantly PvP focused as well as industry focused through the resources that you can get out there. But a 15-man corp should not be able to hold a solar system on their own. You need to be in an alliance that can actually fight and defend that space. That is what nullsec is for. It is not meant for smaller groups pay a big group for money to live there and just farm money. It's not meant for that, and we don't like it because Horde basically say, we're going to protect you, you can live here, this, that, and the other. But what actually happens is, as what's happening now during now the war's happening, all these renters are getting kicked out because they're renters, and Horde are not defending them. They've actually unanchored everything here. Unanchored everything in Golden Pass. Innsmother and Northern Coalition have unanchored everything in Cache. They are unanchoring and they're pulling back to up here, which means that the rental agreement doesn't hold its weight at all. There's nothing holds its weight in there, but that's a completely different topic. So since the war announcement, we have moved super carriers, Titans, thousands of sub-capital ships, battleships, normal ships, command ships, battle cruisers, thousands upon thousands have moved up into Golden Pass to N3 where I am here. So I've shuttled out and got here. So it can obviously be in staging, and I'm going to start moving some stuff later. So what's going to happen is, initially, we've got to get that Keepstar online, which has been anchored, and there was a whole funny meme about that, but that's a different topic. So our staging Keepstar has been anchored. There was no contest for it. Horde didn't try and contest it. They didn't try and fight to stop us putting it down. All Horde have done since the announcement is unanchor everything in Golden Pass, Innsmother, and Cache, and pulling everything back. They're doing a tactical retreat backwards, tactical advance backwards. I'm sorry. So with that, we've managed to get our Keepstar online. It didn't take long. It's 24 hours from when you drop it, so it's gone online, and it's starting to get stuff moved into it now. So what's going to happen going forward is Innsmother is going to burn. Everything and anything that's Horde or Horde related or Horde affiliated is going to burn. And when they hit on anchor, there is 7 days for these structures to unanchor before they can be scooped. In that time, they can be reinforced, and the unanchoring stage cancels. So there's going to be a scramble to reinforce everything to stop them getting anything out of here that's theirs. So in this time, also sovereignty will then be contested through Entosis in the Sov Hub to take it all. Goons do not want to take it. Goons do not want to live in this space. It's not that great space. It's nice and clustered together. Don't get me wrong. It is a nice clustered together, like all this up here. It is really clustered together, which is good for projection and defending the space. It's really good for that. But the true sec is actually not that good on that area. There's some pockets that do have good true sec, but what our goal is to push Horde back to the drone lands up here, along here, push Horde back up here, and leave this burning, smouldering for smaller groups to expand, to come and fight out for it. So then we will live here. There'll be a group of nullsec groups small nullsec groups that can either fight each other or ally together to defend the space from, Horde. Or we're not going to try and kick them out and take them. We might roam the space, but that's probably about it. These guys will probably try and be oppressive, and as soon as we've cleared this, burnt this down, this is all nothing belonging to Horde, NC, or anyone affiliated, and then we pull back, it will probably end up them trying to creep in again and try and take it again, which probably mean us coming back out and leaving and kicking them out again. I think one of the main goals is to have some form, like these green lines are called Answerblex jump bridges. These allow us to connect from here to here without having to go all the way around or all the way around. So it's basically like making a highway. And I think one of the goals is to get a highway right up to Horde's base, so we can project and push and, you know, attack them as of when we see fit, because they're our enemies, and they always will be our enemies because they are a scummy alliance. But that is not down to their members, that's down to their leadership. The members are normally, most of them are all right. There are some, obviously, no full Kool-Aid drinkers, but you get that in every alliance. You get that in Goons, you get that everywhere. The members are fine. It is the leadership that are scummy, that make all the horrible decisions about renting, about taxing anomalies, like your anomalies that spawn in the system. They tax them. They tax, you know, after your first billion ISK, you've got to pay tax on it all. It's a really scummy way to run your alliance, but that's their leadership, and if they want to be in that alliance with their dodgy leadership like that, fine. But we don't want renters here. We don't want renters right next to us, basically. And we think this will be much better off with smaller groups fighting for it, and actually, you know, some groups coming out of low sec to try and take soft space and see, and, you know, get some fights and have stuff blow up, and maybe we can come in third party on some fights, or Horde can come in third party and we will fourth party and kill Horde. And I don't know, any excuse really. But there's going to be a lot of explosions going on here, mainly structures dying. I don't suspect Horde will fight too hard for this, because all they're going to do is pull everything back and sit on these regional gates here. I imagine RXA and GTAC-Q is going to be a hot point for them, because yes, okay, we can come through there, but again, that does come through into GTAC-Q. And also, this is essentially a backdoor into the space, so they're going to have some form of jump bridge network along here so they can travel as of when, whichever area we seem to go. But that is a war update. That's what's going to happen. Now, how this affects the rest of the game. So there's going to be a huge, huge dumpster fire of materials going to being blown up, ships dying, ammo being used, and essentially it will not drain completely on both sides. There will be certain materials that have to get imported because you can't get them here. And there will be certain materials that will then be deleted. Well, not deleted, but they will get bought in much higher quantities from the G2 market and shipped out to these areas. So things like very certain ships or ammo types or something like that we can't get down here, but they can, that they export. They might even slow down their exports, and we might slow down exports. But there's going to be an economical war going on as well. So there's going to be materials being taken from high sec down into null sec to make stuff for the war machine. So some prices may go up. So probably keep an eye on those as well. Certain prices being bought out and being manipulated, market manipulated to get higher prices. And so there's a lot of things that are affecting this, and also there may be some more low sec groups that decide to want to align themselves with the Imperium and come and fight and kill Horde stuff. There might be some guys that would align with Horde and want to come kill some Imperium stuff. There's going to be gate camps on these to and from areas. There's a lot of opportunity for small gangs to come in and attack and have their little impact on the war as well. So it's going to be interesting to see just how much of that goes on. But I am going to be doing fight engagement videos. So when there's a fight going on and I'm on the fleet, I'm going to be recording it, and then I'll be doing like a breakdown or, you know, tidbits of what's going on here and there and how this could have gone better or how it could have gone worse. And we're going to be doing stuff like that. And also with big changes, there's stuff going to into Eve, like the new map that's coming out. We're going to be looking into all that as well, which is really, really nice. I am looking forward to the new map. It does look really nice. But guys, that is I wouldn't say very quick, because it's probably gone on for longer than I expected, explaining everything. And I do like to waffle on quite a bit. But also, guys, I'm going to be streaming over on Twitch. We're going to be streaming some PvP fleets that we're going to take out over here, probably do a bit of exploration and see how long we can go around stealing their relic sites, because why not? And we're going to be streaming other things over on Twitch, which is linked down below, but also twitch.tv/galaxier_. And also, guys, I have noticed that 99% is an absolutely ridiculous number. 99 or 96, I think it's 96%. No, it's 96% of people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you are new to the channel and you want to see more of my back catalogue, or you want to see some more stuff that's coming, please drop a subscribe. Or even if you did like the video or you like any of my previous videos on Eve, drop me a like. I'd really appreciate getting the video out to more people. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments below, and let me know which side you were actually on, if you're on the Horde side or if you're on the Goon side. I don't mean to badmouth Horde. It's not the members that I actually badmouth, because I've actually spoken to quite a few Horde members, and some of them are actually really solid guys. But it's the leadership and the scummy decisions that they make, which I personally don't like, but it doesn't mean that they are bad for the game, but they need to be evicted or anything like that. But that's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. So thanks for coming, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.